As the calendar flips toward the end of 2025, the air is thick with anticipation, not just for the holidays, but for one of the most eagerly awaited unions in modern pop culture history. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, the powerhouse couple whose romance has captivated the globe from football fields to sold-out stadiums, are reportedly deep into preparations for their wedding, an event poised to blend the grandeur of Swift's Eras Tour spectacle with the heartfelt traditions of Kelce's Midwestern roots. Amid the flurry of venue scouting, custom gown fittings, and playlist curations, the pair has found an unexpected wellspring of guidance in none other than basketball legend Magic Johnson, whose decades of marital wisdom offer a blueprint for enduring love in the relentless spotlight of fame. The counsel came during a star-studded evening at the annual Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Ripple of Hope Award Gala in New York City, an affair that gathers luminaries committed to justice and equality under one elegant roof. Johnson, the 66-year-old icon whose name evokes slam dunks, showmanship, and unyielding optimism, took a moment amid the clinking glasses and impassioned speeches to impart his insights on matrimony. Speaking directly to the Swift-Kelce dynamic, he distilled a lifetime of lessons into a trio of principles that resonate deeply with anyone who's ever navigated the highs and lows of partnership, let alone one amplified by millions of adoring eyes. First and foremost, Johnson emphasized the sanctity of authenticity in love. Remember who you fell in love with and don't try to change them, he advised, his voice carrying the gravitas of someone who's not just preached resilience but lived it, from his trailblazing career on the court to his advocacy in the face of personal health battles. For Swift and Kelce, whose courtship unfolded in the public eye like a rom-com scripted by destiny, this rings especially true. Their story began with a whispered connection at a mutual friends gathering, blossomed through Kelce's bold podcast confession and Swift's surprise appearance at a Chiefs game, and solidified amid the chaos of Super Bowl triumphs and Grammy sweeps. What drew them together? Swift's lyrical vulnerability paired with Kelce's boisterous charm, her intellectual depth meeting his athletic fervor, is the very essence they must preserve. In a world that often demands reinvention, Johnson's words serve as a gentle anchor, reminding them that the spark ignited in stolen glances and shared laughs must remain unadulterated by external pressures. Building on this foundation, Johnson turned to the lifeblood of any lasting bond: communication. Keep the line of communication open, he urged, underscoring that even in disagreement, the dialogue must flow freely. He recounted his own practice with wife Cookie Johnson, a partnership forged in 1991 that has weathered fame's tempests and life's unforeseen turns with grace. Even if you disagree about something, never go to bed upset at each other. So work it out, he elaborated, painting a picture of bedtime rituals not as rote but as sacred resolutions. Imagine Swift and Kelce applying this in their Kansas City sanctuary or Swift's New York penthouse. After a long day of rehearsals and practices, perhaps over a late-night acoustic session or a post-game debrief, they air grievances with the same intensity they bring to their crafts. Swift, whose songs have long dissected the anatomy of arguments and apologies, might find poetic symmetry here. Kelce, ever the team player, could channel his locker room candor into vulnerable exchanges that strengthen rather than strain. But Johnson's wisdom doesn't stop at conflict resolution. He rounds it out with a call to nurture the flame that first kindled the fire. Don't forget date night, he warned, acknowledging how life's encroachments, be they children, careers, or the ceaseless churn of celebrity, can erode the playful intimacy of early romance. A lot of times when kids come or you're working your job, the thing that you fell in love with from that person you were going out, you were having a good time on your date nights. For the couple, whose public outings have ranged from low-key Arrowhead hunts to high-fashion Met Gala strolls, this is both a challenge and a delight. Wedding preps, with their endless to-do lists, could easily overshadow the spontaneity that defined their early days. Think Kelce's sweet-stalking escapades at Swift's tour stops or her cheering from the Arrowhead stands in custom overalls. Yet, embedding date nights into the chaos, perhaps a disguised dinner at a hole-in-the-wall taco joint or a private concert under the stars, ensures that their vows aren't just promises but perpetuations of joy. This infusion of Johnson-esque advice arrives at a pivotal juncture for Swift and Kelce. Reports suggest the wedding is slated for a spring 2026 affair, possibly in a coastal haven like Rhode Island or a rustic Tennessee estate, with a guest list that reads like a who's who of entertainment and sports. Swift's inner circle, Selena Gomez, Jack Antonoff, and of course her squad of model actress confidantes, will mingle with Kelce's pod of brothers, teammates, and podcast co-hosts, creating a tapestry of toasts that blend folklore introspection with New Heights humor. The preparations themselves are a microcosm of their union, Swift overseeing floral arrangements inspired by her album aesthetics, Kelce vetting the menu for hearty, crowd-pleasing fare, and both infusing personal touches like a Kelce-inspired tailgate reception or Swift-penned vows recited to an acoustic rendition of their song. Yet, beneath the glamour lies the real work of merging worlds. Swift's life is a whirlwind of studio sessions, fan interactions, and philanthropic endeavors, from her voter registration drives to book club endorsements. Kelce's is punctuated by training camps, endorsement deals, and the brotherhood of the gridiron, where physicality and strategy reign supreme. Johnson's guidance then becomes a North Star, helping them harmonize these rhythms. It's no coincidence that this advice surfaces now. The gala, with its focus on human rights and ripple effects of positive action, mirrors the couple's own commitments, Swift's advocacy for artists' rights and Kelce's support for mental health initiatives in sports. In receiving Johnson's words, they're not just gaining tips, they're inheriting a legacy of love as activism, where personal fulfillment fuels broader impact. Reflecting on Johnson's own journey adds layers to this narrative. Married to Cookie amid the AIDS crisis that threatened to eclipse his legacy, he chose vulnerability over isolation, turning personal trials into platforms for education and empathy. Today, their partnership is a model of mutual elevation, with Cookie's ventures in design and Johnson's in business complementing each other seamlessly. For Swift and Kelce, emulating this means viewing marriage not as a capstone but as a catalyst. Date nights could evolve into collaborative brainstorming sessions for joint charities. Open communication might birth public service announcements blending music and athletics. And at its heart, remembering the who of their falling, the girl who found poetry in pain and the guy who tackled life head-on, ensures their story remains a source of inspiration. As preps accelerate, with rumors of a destination rehearsal dinner and a cake tiered like a championship trophy, Swift and Kelce embody the Johnsons' ethos in action.